Hello, here's a little review of the Ontario Spec Plus SP-2 Air Force survival knife. This one's kind of like a copy of that Ontario, like their Air Force survival knife with the leather stacked handles and stuff. But this does pretty good. It costs around the same price. Talk really quickly about the sheath. Yeah. Here's the sheath. It's got two little retention snaps right here. One right here, and then another right here. Made of Cordura on this side, and then made of leather on this side. That's pretty cool. I like that feature. It's got a nice belt loop to it. It's not too big, not too small. This part is made of leather too. It's really tough, it's strong. And then this part is made of Cordura, which is good. It's got right here on the bottom of the knife, you can tie like something to that, and you can attach that to your leg if you wanted to. That works pretty good. It's a nice sheath. Here's a knife. It's pretty much the same blade length and everything as the Ontario survival knife. I used to have that knife, but this has a Creighton stacked handle, which is pretty nice. Creighton stacked handle. It's not like the cold steel type of Creighton where it's like really like feels like it's gonna just break really easily. This actually feels really tough and strong, but it will shred up a bit, just like rubber, any other type of knife made of rubber with the handle. It's got a little saw back to it just for making knots and stuff. I think this is made of 1095. Pretty much all Ontario's Spec Plus knives are made out of. Thickness to it is pretty well. It's clip point, and the back of it right here is sharpened, but it's not too sharp. I got this nice good edge on this. I could never get a good edge on the Ontario survival knife. It was just too hard. The blade was really thick. It was just really difficult to get an edge on that, but I got a good edge on this. The handle feels good. I'll show you that right here. The handle is nice and long, fits your hand in good. This doesn't annoy you too much right here. Get my cat out of the way. This doesn't annoy you too much right here, and like right back here when you're carving. It can, but it's not as bad as other things. But it works pretty good. It doesn't have a little hammer thing on the end of the blade or the end of the handle like the Air Force survival knife does. It's got a nice lanyard hole. Everything's good. It's a nice knife. I wanted to kind of compare the handles with my Recon Scout. See, this kind of feels like almost like, I don't know, this feels a lot weaker than this. I like this more, but you know, it's not sticky like the Recon Scout. Like the Recon Scouts are like really sticky. This doesn't stick at all. It feels good. I like it a lot. And yeah, this is around like a 5-inch blade. So there they are, thickness. Pretty well. Yeah, there's the Recon Scout. I really like this knife. I would say use this knife for day, like for overnight hiking and stuff. Like you don't think you're gonna process that much wood, but maybe just a little bit, because this can do it pretty good. It's good thickness. You can time pretty good with it. I like it a lot. My nephew gave it to me, so it's really nice. I'll show you some chopping right here on this brush. It's an alright chopper. There you go. Okay. It can do it if you needed to. It chops better than my RC4. RC4 is really light, but that knife can, if you use a baton to hit it through stuff, it can do pretty good with that. This wood is not really rotten. It is pine, so it is a bit softer. See there, it goes through that pretty easily. This knife is very light. Like, I really like it for that. Very light. You do not feel this on your belt barely. I can't tell you how light it is, but it is very light. there it goes. It went through pretty easily. I'll show you some batoning really quickly right through this. This might flake off a little bit. See, it does it pretty good. See, there you go. Does it really nicely, actually. This knife costs around $36, I think, which is really nice because this knife is really nice to have. Take this on day hiking backpacks. Does good there. Kind of flicked off a little bit there. That's over here. See, this would kind of flake off a little bit, but it can baton. A medium batoning it can handle through stuff like that. Very good. I love this knife. I recommend you, if you want a knife that's not like super expensive but will handle anything you need, this one's really good. It does have a weak point to it because it's kind of just gets really thin at the end, but it is really sharp. Just be careful about the point. Don't break it or anything. And this knife will probably last you a good while. My review on the SP-2 Spec Plus Air Force survival knife.